The RV Show USA. Start living the RV dream today.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my virtual campfire. Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Thank you for joining me today. Now, this video is going to be a good one because we're covering two important things that I believe RV owners should keep in mind, especially those who may own a brand of RV that is experiencing, the manufacturer is experiencing financial problems during this economic slowdown period. And did you know that more often than not, RV owners can take their manufacturer to small claims court for smaller amounts, maybe up to $15,000 or $20,000, depending upon what your state allows. And if you do it right, you have a very good chance of prevailing. Our badass RV lemon lawyer, Ron Burdge, is up now to talk about both situations. And I'll ask for what you think about something when I sort of surprised him with a question in the middle of our interview.
What about a manufacturer who may shutter and completely close down? I mean, because, I've heard some rumors of there's some manufacturers that have built some pretty crappy stuff. They sold a lot of it during COVID because people were crazy buying stuff. But they made a lot of crappy stuff and they might not make it. If I happen to own one of those brands and it turns into a lemon, is there any recourse, or is the parent company of that brand now on the hook?
It depends on the way they've set up their business, the corporation, so to speak. And quite often they will get to that moment at the end where they will just simply sell out to somebody else. And then it depends on how they sold out, on whether or not you, who is sitting there with a bad RV and their warranty, whether or not you can do anything against the company that bought them, or if they in fact file bankruptcy, is there anything you can do there? And it's a mess legally, frankly. If there isn't somebody there who is still there legally, the corporation, then you may not be able to recover anything. And that's one of the reasons you got to be real careful about what you buy and where you buy it. There's a lot of small companies that are very good at what they do, but there are some out there that they're making problems.
Yeah, I see people that want to save as much money as they can, and that's understandable. But to buy from a brand that is kind of sketchy, it's at best it's kind of a scary situation, a very awful, uncomfortable situation to get in when you have to go after the deal on the manufacturer and all that other kind of crap, when all you want to do is have fun in your RV. But then if they're on the financial ropes and they're going to go under, that just adds exponentially the size of the problem.
Yeah, it really, really does. Campers just want to have fun. They don't want to go through all this legal baloney that the factories make you do. Once upon a time, obviously, when you had a problem, they took care of you. But quite frankly, ever since the last couple of recessions and then the pandemic and everything, it's all become a matter of money for them. That's what I see time and time again. It's not the customer. It's a rare bird that takes care of the customer. When you get ready to buy an RV, if you're looking at a brand that you don't recognize real well, then make sure you understand how good that thing is built, because that may be something you end up having to repair yourself if you're not careful.
Looping back into the chassis problem where the cracked fiberglass on these fifth wheels, is the Burdge law firm taking on some of those cases? I thought most of your cases that you talk about were motorized or motorhome types.
Actually, it's a mix. The towables and the fifth wheels, the ones I'm talking about in particular, are priced around $60,000 to $80,000, $90,000, which is a lot of money for something that's got cracks in frames. But fundamentally, if it's an RV that costs $50,000 on up, we'll take a look at the situation to see what we can do. When it's less than that, then I think the people need to figure out if they can get it taken care of on their own, or if they can have their local family lawyer help them out, or if they want to file in small claims court, or how to deal with that. And I'm still writing a book on that too, because I want to be able to give to people an explanation on how to fight in small claims court over a bad RV and how to win.
Ron, you will be, people love you anyway, but if you provide some kind of a little booklet, something that the average person can download or whatever, that says, here's the steps to go through small claims court where they don't have to pay an expensive lawyer. I think people would, oh my gosh, it would be a valuable thing for people. So I know you're not looking for more work to do, but I sure think that would be a great idea. And you know what? And folks, if you're watching this video, what do you think? You think it'd be a good idea for Ron? I'm trying to put him on the spot here. For Ron and his team to come up with something that may be beneficial if you want to go to small claims court. I'd drop a comment because I'd sure like to hear. I think it'd be a great idea.
We actually have one of those books for cars, for people who want to go to small claims court over a bad car repair or whatever. But it's unfortunately really just cars, and it's really just Ohio where we are. I really want to get to the other book, but I've got some other things I got to get out of the way first.
I know you do. So you still have your RVlemonlawcom site where if I think I might have a lemon that I can go and I can fill out the information. Tell me if somebody hasn't been to that site, what's the purpose of it and what can I expect after I fill out whatever I fill out? Give me a time reference and what typically can I expect as a consumer?
Well, on that website, you'll find a lot of information about RVs in general and such, but particularly there's the help us page, if you want to call it that, where basically you can send us a rough sketch of the problems you've been having and such, and tell us a little about your situation. We then will do a free case review and let you know what we think. If we think there's a way to resolve it without a lawsuit, great. If we think that you're going to have to get tough with them or whatever, we'll tell you just exactly what we think. We don't charge anything for that. The idea is to at least give you the information so you can make a decision on what you want to do. By the time you fill out that form and send it to us, you're going to get a response, usually within a day or two, sometimes faster than that. But those are being monitored all the time and responded to as quickly as we can.
And are they actually reviewed by a real attorney, someone that, I mean, it's not like some AI thing?
No, I review every one. What happens is that goes in, I've got two really wonderful ladies that know exactly what we're looking for. They will get everything together. They'll get back to you if there's information or documents that they need. They'll get everything together, and then they will sit down with me, and then I'll go over it and ask any questions that I see I need more information on or whatever. So I actually review every one of these cases.
I want to kind of bottom line this thing. I would assume that most of the people that send a note to you or go to your website and ask for help, you probably can't help them. And it's probably not pleasant telling somebody that you really can't help them, or maybe not. I mean, maybe you can help most of these people. I'm just trying I'm trying to get people to be prepared for, hey, I can't take your case. And I don't think you have, I think people deserve the truth. And I know you give it to them, but I don't want to give people false hope.
Oh, I totally agree with you there. I think that statistically, we probably can help and actually do begin to take care of and help people that are roughly about, I would say, around 55-60% of the calls. There's some people that we can't do anything for, a lot of times for legal reasons because of problems that exist in the law that they're going to run into. But most of the time, they just simply waited too long to really complain. And that makes it really tough to be able to do them any good because that clock is running all the time.
I've got one more thing I want to ask you about, and it is about registering my RV, purchasing it as a business. I'm going to have a business, and let my business pay for it, titling it, whatever. I have heard that it's a real no-no. Don't do that. I mean, you can do it if you want, but you're running a risk from the warranty side. Can you explain, if first off, is that true? And secondly, if it is, then what's the consequences of doing it, putting it in my company name?
It's true in many cases. In Texas and Montana, those are the two states that seem to promote this pretty heavily, and there's some others out there too. And essentially, when you put it in the name of a business and you run it through one of those states, your company that you're creating just for the purpose of owning this bad RV, that hopefully is a good RV, the problem is that it becomes in a business entity name. And a lot of those warranties say that if you title it in a business, if you use it for a business purpose, even part-time in any way, shape, or form, then your warranty gets knocked down, say from 1 year down to 90 days on a lot of products. And in a couple of them, the warranty goes right out the window and you got nothing. So you need to be sure and look at that warranty carefully before you buy a new RV so that you know for sure if you're going to put it in the name of a business, are you going to have any warranty or not?
And if a dealer tells you, oh, yeah, no problem, we'll just keep it between us, run.
Yeah, sure. The problem is, dealers in factories, they talk. And on top of that, when you call to complain, they're going to ask you about that, the title of it. Where is it at right now? Who's the dealer that's got it? What's the serial number on it? And who's the title owner of it? They check that. They know. But what's interesting about it is that the factories, they generally will try to help you a little bit anyway, if not more than that, even when you've got it in a business name. The problem is, though, that when push comes to shove, they can turn their back on you whenever they want, and you're stuck.
Man, he is always so good. Such a wealth of information that we can actually use. Now, going back to what Ron said a couple of minutes ago about the clock, and that it's always running all the time. It is not uncommon at all for people to tell me that they've been trying to get their RV back into the dealership for months for some kind of a warranty issue. When they finally get their appointment, guess what? Their warranty has expired. So keep an eye on the clock, so to speak. Write down the date on your calendar when your RV warranty expires, and don't let some technicality make a court rule against you. One more suggestion is to remember the website RVlemonlawcom that we spoke about. It's a free resource for RV owners. If you think you may have a lemon RV, even if the Burdge law firm doesn't take your case, a free evaluation from an actual RV lemon lawyer is a good idea. Again, RVlemonlaw.com. Finally, what do you think about having some kind of a, small claims court guide for RV owners? Wouldn't that be great? I do, but I want to hear what you think about the idea. Let me know in the comments below. So thanks for joining me today. I do appreciate it. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman, reminding you to be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home.
The RV Show USA. Start living the RV dream today.